All right. Hi. I think it's just me on here. Again, here I am on my dirty back porch. I don't even know how to begin to clean this. I think I need a power washer, right? Because I've taken a rag and wiped it down, but it takes like 10 beach towels and I have to do it every other week. Wow, I'm complaining. Hey everybody, welcome. I'm making a Diane Keaton, which is simply a glass of ice and red wine. That's all it is. Real complicated. I did take a break from last week because, man, who's somebody texting me? Kids not in place. Oh, I'm sorry. Ed Larson. Sure, send notes, buddy. Yes. My buddy Ed Larson texted me. Hi, Jamie Burke. Hi. My night's going good. You making a Clint Eastwood? What's a Clint Eastwood? Ed sending me notes on my video. He's a very nice man. But yeah, last week I was or a couple weeks ago, I feel like I was very negative towards like a couple dates or whatever I was on, and of course the person found it, and then I just looked like a bitch. So I took it all down, and I'm starting fresh, and that is just to be nicer and not talk shit. Bourbon sucks from a whale T-shirt, a white T-shirt. Is it a contest? Is that a Clint Eastwood? Bourbon sucks from a white T-shirt contest. We just gotta do this at the end. Oh yeah. How's Clint Eastwood doing? Is he still alive? Is he still making movies? Can be. Never done a wet T-shirt contest. Nothing against them. I mean, your body, your choice. I just don't. I get uncomfortable around a lot of men. Like if I get in a room and there's lots of men and I don't know any of them, I'm leaving. And I'm the only woman, I'm getting out of there because they can kill you. I think he just died. Did he die from COVID? Oh man. He's alive. Okay, thanks, Jamie. Somebody died recently. Sean Connery died. Oh, thanks for looking that up. That's good. Yeah, Sean Connery died. His last words were, "It's okay to hit women." He fucking croaked. I saw that interview. Diane Waters or something. She was like, "Do you believe it's okay to hit a woman?" And he's like, "If a woman is out of line, and I've tried everything I can, but women test my patience, and it's okay to backhand it." A lot of men replay that over and over on YouTube, on a lot of compilations about hitting women. There's a lot of sad, lonely folks out in the world. I hope they find love. Well, thanks for looking it up, Jamie. That's another thing I'm not going to do. I'm going to be kind to myself. I'm not going to like go down these rabbit holes of negativity. I used to just like, and I probably will do in the future some more. I'll look up this video that's just like cats getting hit, and I'm like, oh no, and then like it just keeps going, and I can't stop it, like Clockwork Orange. I'm like, I keep looking at the violence. It's a lot, and there's a lot of the more you're on the internet, even though we're on the internet now, the more it's just like negative, negative, negative. It is hard not to, especially when it's right there and you know it's there. It's like turning over a rock with a weird scorpion under it, and you're like, I've turned it over. I see what the scorpion is. I kind of want to keep looking at the scorpion, instead of turning it back over and being like, I'm going on my life. Just want to say, dang, y'all, was one of my. Oh, thanks, Count Backwards. I actually had to stop doing dang, y'all, because I talked about my cousin being a pedophile. And my family got a hold of it, and they said that I ruined his life. Because I said it first when we were both 14 years old, and he's like, I like being around young boys and teaching them how to masturbate. And I was like, that's crazy. So I told adults, and the adults pulled me into the room and they said, you're ruining his life. How dare you? You're the worst. You're such a problem. And to this day, I still have like big anxiety, And like when someone calls my name, it's like, I'm in trouble, And so they let him go. And then he kept back at it. And then I talked about it on my podcast. And the police used it as as evidence to be like, oh, how long have you been doing this? Because they only like just found it of him later. And then I talked about how long it's been going on. And they were like, what, excuse me? And they used that as evidence to put him away forever. Hard not to be negative side. Right, just step forward, I think. It is. Yeah, to recognize you being negative. I know I'm like holding the cigarette. I said I wasn't going to smoke on these things, but what are you going to do? Yeah, that was my family. We don't even talk about it. That's just like the untalk about thing. The untalkables. Growing up there, I always thought that I was going to be ending up in prison. Like, I was just in trouble all the time. My family didn't know what to do with me. I mean, when you're raised very sort of, a lot of people really like traditional values and they like being religious and in those small communities. And that's great. And that's not knocking that at all. But I think like living in Saudi Arabia for 7 years and kind of saying things, I didn't know how to wear the outfits, sit cross-legged, say the right thing, speak at the right tone. All of these little things that the women just kind of knew. I don't know. So just constantly getting hammer. So I just have this to this day, like anxiety of like, please don't yell at me. Cause that was like that's why I left home at 17. Dang, y'all, sounds Boomhauer from King of the Hill. It is. We had a substitute teacher that spoke like Boomhauer. And he would substitute art class. It was really fun. All right, Danielle, draw this bowl of fruit now. Come on now. I like it. There were some good artists, like in the Deep South. Art isn't necessarily just some rich kid from NYU. In fact, they probably do the most mediocre art, I would say, to be honest. I'd say some of the best art probably comes from like kids in small, regressive towns that have nothing else to escape to do. My personal opinion. I used to work at an art museum in New York City, and it's a lot of contemporary art is a money laundering scheme. I wonder if you knew that. Now you know. It's all money laundering. You just get I paint a picture of my asshole, and then I put it up on the wall. I'm like, this will be $500,000, and then it has to go through the museum, and the museum gets 50% of cuts for the art. That's why a lot of art is also very expensive. Museums get half the profits, and a lot of it, you know where it goes. Kids with good art need to have their parents investigated. That's really funny. Why are you so good at this? Have you been alone in your room for hours? Just listening to music by yourself in a mood? Do you have no friends? Have you had dinner yet? Are you hungry? Is that why all of your people in your pictures are tired and hungry? All of my art was just black and white, and everybody was like hungry and poor, or like in the middle of the forest and confused, or like gambling with no soul, like very dark stuff. And that's just what I was naturally drawn to. And then I turned 17 and I was like, bye. There was an art exhibit of a banana taped to the wall, and it was worth like $1,000. And then some guy ate it. That car going by sounded like a laugh track. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. There's a lot of crazy folks out here. Yeah, it was actually worth. The banana on the wall was worth more than $1,000. I think it was worth several $1,000s, and some guy ate it. That's probably a part of the art. I mean, that's a smart artist to make it just a part of the art. If you're like, this is $20,000, this banana, and then someone's like, oh yeah, fuck you, and they eat it, and the whole like, the museum, that's an experience. That's an artistic experience. Just the banana, not enough. 100,000, and here I was being very liberal with 20,000. It was $100,000. There was an issue of like Forbes magazine years ago, and they were talking about the wealthiest people in the world. Now, I personally think the wealthiest people in the world, you're not going to read about them on a magazine. You're not going to read them on a blog. Saw 3 of them during the art basement. That's great. Yeah, the wealthiest people in the world, you're not going to read about them on a blog. You're not going to see them on TV. They want to be hidden. They don't have social media profiles. And I research this. I look at who are the wealthiest people, they don't have Facebook. They don't have websites. There's a lot of these companies I'm looking at how do you build uranium factories? What company did this? There's no company website. It used to be here and now it's gone. Cool. They don't want you knowing what it is, but there was one Forbes issue, and I think in the 80s, and it said the wealthiest people in the world, and it was, I think one of them was a cocaine dealer. They were doing it to make a point about how the wealthiest people are hidden. And of course, it was the 80s. No way would you do that now. But yeah, a lot of people in Germany are incredibly wealthy. That I had to do some digging just to find that. I'm going to spit on a newspaper and call it art. And the bidder still paid that amount without the banana. Wow. He still paid $100,000? That makes me think that eating the banana was part of the experience. I like it. Maybe the $100,000 is part of the experience too. It was all Monopoly money or something, and the whole crowd was aghast. That's an aghast, I would say. If I went into an art museum, that is a piece right there. This banana's $100,000. Wait, you're eating it? Oh, I'll still give you the money anyway, right? Am I making sense? Oh, wow. I used to do a bunch of experimental theater back when I was much more poor. There's something about poor people in experimental theater. You don't really see rich people pouring buckets of blood on them out in the middle of the street, lighting an American flag on fire. They're probably just having a great time, that's why. Love you, Amber. You've made me laugh so much during the early roundtable days. Hey, thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. What was that about? Oh, yeah. What was one of them? I think my brother had just gone, he just signed up for the war in Afghanistan, September 11th? Yes, that's where we went. And then my friends were we want to make a statement, and they wanted to pee on the American flag or something, and I was guys, I don't know about this. And they're just we're going to war, and that sucks. And I'm yeah, but my brother's going to war, I don't know. It's just a weird thing, and they were just these art pansies, I guess. If you went to war and experienced it, and you came back and wanted to pee on the flag, rock and roll. But if you're just some little Oreo boy, okay, you pee on a flag, go ask your dad for money. Pansy, yes. It's always that. If you went to war and if you came back and you're I'm going to piss on the flag, rock and roll. But if you're some college boy that's asking his dad for money and you want to pee on the flag, it's icky. But you have the right to if you want to, because if you don't have the right to, then it's fascism. We'll find it out. I don't want to, but if you're you can't, then you might as well be in North Korea and you can't take posters off the walls or do anything, or else you get shot by a firing squad. Is this too weird for YouTube? Most politically outrageous thing. My house is a little dirty behind me. I promise it's not all that dirty. It's just kind of. There we go. Maybe like that. Nah. Too real. I feel if you go to war and you come back, you should get the first vote. You should have so many amenities for you. My brother definitely has a lot of amenities, but you have to. It doesn't seem he's given a lot. I don't know, but he also has 4 kids. How do you deal with 4 kids? They should be taken better care of, and they should have PTSD, because he had some wild PTSD right when he first came back, and it was just all right, get on the plane, You want some gumbo? And we're just kind of like talking to him like he just left last week, but he's visibly different. And we're talking like 40 pounds thinner, sunken eyes, shaky eyes. You can always look into someone's eyes and tell us what's going on. 72 virgins? Who's got 72 virgins? I want to come from a large military. I come from we gross feelings, how we care more about the flag than our vets. We do. We do care more about the flag than our vets. It's poor people that go off to war. I mean, really, like, abortion's sad, but the reason why people want to outlaw it is not because of, like, oh, the baby. It's because it's mostly poor women getting it. And the women giving birth to the boys either go off to prison or the military. And that's how the government makes some money, baby. Money. Right? It's not about life. Is that also too much? I have all these people around me. The woman next door, the way she talks, it lays eggs in my brain. I want to be when somebody talks like that. Talking like that. And they always talk the loudest too. It's the people that don't realize how bad they talk and how bad they sound talk the loudest. Earwig eggs. You know, I just heard about earwigs, and it might be one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard. What exactly is it? Is it like a bug that lives in your ear? Is that what an earwig is? Because I saw it in the TV show Pen 15. They pulled something out of her ear, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Very good point about the poor being kept poor in America. Yeah, just keep them poor. Keep them poor, keep them hungry, don't give them anything, so they have to rely on you. And then you can make whatever rules you want. It's kind of like when you go to a small town and they have one restaurant. The restaurant's going to be bad because they're going to feed you a bullshit sandwich, and what are you going to do about it? You have to have a little bit of a competition here. Just a bug. It's an urban legend about getting your ear, I think. Eating your ear. So it's a bug that lives in your ear. That's so gross. That's so gross. I can't. Earwig? I once had a worm in my knee. That's gross. Because I fell down. And my neighbor again. I fell down in a gross place. And then a couple days later, I went over to a neighbor's and had a dog. And the dog like chewed through my scab. And there was a worm in there. That's the most disgusting thing that's ever happened to me. Like cardboard in damp places. Oh, they don't go in your ear. They like cardboard and damp. They have pisners and are gross. Well, you know what? I'll get off the topic of worms and earwigs. How about that? How about we talk about something nice? Clouds and rainbows. Had a ladybug crawl across my eardrum. AJ, how did a ladybug get in your ear? Were you like sleeping like this and it just plooped? Boy, I remember one time in Saudi Arabia, I was hanging upside down on the monkey bars, and I was real little, and an ant was crawling up on the monkey bars, and it fell into my eye. And I ran home, and I ran home, and I ran home, and I'm like, Dad, get it out, get it out. He takes his safety pin, opens it up, and then gets in there in my eye, and then like pulls it out. I just had this ant munching on my eyeball. What's the thing you miss most from Louisiana? That's a very good question. Definitely miss New Orleans. I mean, there's no other city like it. Doctor saw footprints when he looked the next day. Oh boy. Oh, like footprints like Jesus? I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, Louisiana, I miss New Orleans. Too bad my family doesn't like New Orleans. Louisiana food. Yeah, it's all like a big community thing. I mean, the best thing about New Orleans is you just walk around and meet people, and they're like, hey, you want to come over? I'm making some jambalaya. And you're like, all right. And it's like the best food you'll ever eat. A lot of community, music. Music is everywhere. But unfortunately, a lot of people in the South don't like going to New Orleans because New Orleans, I mean, you can't be drunk with your wallet open and being like, where's my hotel? Because people will rob you. And a lot of people, they're used to kind of living in the woods and just kind of being able to go where they want. And they don't understand like how to walk in a city and how to behave and not just to kind of walk and then stand there. You know what I mean? So they get fucked up or something and then they hate it and they don't want to go. Okay. Bird Luger lived in New Orleans when the Saints won. He was carrying you. Yeah, that little ladybug was carrying you. What happened to Bird Luger? Oh, was he in New Orleans and got robbed? Those chicks robbed him blind. Yeah, people wait and they see. They know if you're a tourist, you know? And that's everywhere. I'd say if you're walking through a bad neighborhood, don't stop. Keep walking, look forward. And if you have to look at your phone, go into a deli or something and then look at it. But don't pull it out. Don't smoke a cigarette. Don't look up and look around where you're going because then people are going to notice you. Or you can go the other way and then dress very ostentatiously and then walk in the middle of the street so everybody sees you. So then someone says to themselves, I want to rob this person, but I can't because everybody else sees them and everybody else will see that I did it. You know what I mean? So you got two different options here. I lived in New Orleans for 3 years and I always tell people it's a great place to visit, but a hard place to live in. Yes, it's hard to live in. I got offered a job there singing on Bourbon Street and I turned it down because everybody I know who worked on Bourbon Street had a crack addiction. Majorly so. Like physically different, even a year later. And I know I'm like drinking and smoking cigarettes, but like, I mean, you can't be doing crack every night. Sure, once on New Year's or whatever you do, but like, it's every night because New Orleans is 24 hours and they just go and they huff it and they go back to work and then and like they just don't sleep for like 4 days on end and then they'll crash and then sleep all one day. And I'm like, man, life is a long go. It's not a sprint. What do you call it? Marathon. Yo, girl, $5 I can bet. Well, you got them shoes at. Yeah. And then they say something like the ugly store, you know, and then you got to give them $5 or they'll kill you. Bourbon people are wild. This evening's beverage is a Diane Keaton, and it's red wine with ice. That is in fact called the name of the drink, a Diane Keaton. It is red wine with ice. Quite delightful. I find red wine to be too like hot and thick. You know, it's like the coffee of the beverage world, which is fine. But like after a few, you start feeling like a little sleepy baby, and then you get that. I remember one time I went on a date with a guy. He was a Russian barback. How am I alive? And he said, I was drinking wine with him, and I had that little red lip around my thing. And he said, you women with a red lip, I don't like it. That's disgusting. And I was like, what am I going to wish it away? What are you talking? You're drinking red wine too, dude. Real asshole. But I'm only now learning to. It's hard to. A big thing about being an adult is like, when am I the asshole, and when are they the asshole? You know what I mean? At that time, I think he was the asshole. Ice wine is the shit. I had some. My butt is wetting. Dangerous with that percentage. Yes, it is. But I'm having a few. I have work in the morning, and I'll put up my video tomorrow. Ed's giving me notes on it. I like doing my videos the day before, especially if it's something that's important. It's an important, crazy election, so I can't be like, welcome to my kitchen, and then just be like a white bitch in my kitchen. You know what I mean? Have some gravity to it, but also make some jokes and have some fun at some point. It's a fine line. It's a fine line to walk here, and also make it G-rated. I like making things G-rated because right now is not. It's very chaotic. I don't want to add to it. I don't want to add to the nastiness. And you go on YouTube, and I get in these YouTube holes where these dudes are like, you should just kill yourself. And I'm like, oh no. And I don't want to, man, get away. Like if somebody were saying that to my face, I would be like, cool dude, and then leave. As a woman, you're rarely the asshole, just conditioned to think so. I think so too. I mean, some women are assholes because women are people, of course, but definitely how I was raised in a more traditional sense is women just get the blame for everything. Like how I got the blame because my cousin was a pedophile, but then I talked about it. So like, you can't talk, you ruin his life. So like, the blame that you would give towards a pedophile was given towards me. Yeah, and I very much have a thing. I'm conditioned to knowing where all the men are in the room, what I'm wearing, where the exit is. Are there any other women in the room? That's just what is conditioned. Because if, you're wearing something a little provocative, or if you do something kind of provocative or something that kind of breaks the rules, well, now you're a rule breaker, and then whatever happens to you is deserved. You know what I mean? And then you get fucked up. How's the unemployment scene and working in LA? Is COVID shutdown coming back for y'all? Comments are scary kosher on some of those horrible things. COVID in LA, it is locked down. People are still trying to make the best of it. They're still eating outside on the sidewalk or in parking lots. A lot of restaurants just kind of block off the inside. You might go in there with your mask on to order and then go right outside, sit down. No bars, no no sit inside a bar. Hairdressers, everybody's in their masks, so you don't know the shape of someone's face, because you need to know someone's shape when you're cutting their hair. And if I'm in a mask, also when I went to get my hair cut, they were like, you didn't wash your hair before you came? And I was like, who the fuck washes their hair? That's your job. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Do I go to a restaurant and cook my own food in the back? What are you, crazy? And they're like, no, you have to wash your own hair. And they got really mad at me. And I'm like, fuck. Every time I go get my hair cut, they're rude. That's why I've been cutting my own bangs. I don't know if you notice. My homemade bangs. I have to drive all over SoCal. It's weird levels depending on the county. Orange County is scared that. Well, so what's Orange County like? Are they just open? Because they're a little more Republican, I think. So they probably want to be more open, less masks, that whole deal. I was going to ask if you cut your own bangs. Yes, Caitlin. I cut my own bangs. My method is to just pull them and then coop. And then look in the mirror for weeks and be like, why am I doing this? That's my method. I used to cut my own hair for years. I cut my own hair for years. And then I went into a salon finally, and the lady was like, who's been cutting your hair because you have a mullet? I didn't know, but I had a mullet for like at least 2 years. No clue. I was like, this looks great. Oops. Is where you were at haunted? Felipe Del Rio. For where I'm at haunted, it looks haunted. I'm just on my side porch. This is kind of the best setup I could get for now. Maybe I could put up some lights behind me, some like Christmas lights, so it looks nicer. I don't know what is an outlet to do these things. Oops, sorry. Yeah, some Christmas lights, I could put that up. It definitely looks like I'm in just some barn that I got kidnapped in. I look like I got kidnapped. Don't tell everybody I'm here. They look good. All right, Romkey. Okay. In Texas open, but I'm proud of Houston because I haven't seen some of that mask in weeks. Bring back the mullet 2020. I mean, we're all going to be rocking a mullet. If this keeps up, I mean, if we go under another lockdown and hairdressers get locked down, I'm definitely going to have to start cutting my own hair. I look like I tell riddles in the woods. Look at this. It's just too much. Or figure it out. I like long hair, but at some point it's got to be like managed. You know what I mean? Definitely growing up, it was like you never cut your hair, because you cut your hair when you get married, and then you have the like, can I speak to your manager haircut? And that's it. And then you just have this long, but the other girls had like pretty straight, thin, like pony style hair, and I have very thick witch's hair. I have thick hair, so I have to get it maintained. I can't just have it grown out. Those girls, everybody's got lice all the time. Ugh. Bring back mullet. Patreon for tarot readings. Do you think the moon landing was real? I think the moon landing was real. I think humans are smart enough to go to the moon. I think we're capable enough and, mentally and physically strong, and we can do it. Absolutely. I mean, the whole flag waving, even though it's in a no atmosphere, right? Is that the big thing? Is that the big conspiracy? The flag is waving. Is there any other stuff? This is reason why the moon landing might be faked, or is that the only thing? Because I mean, we can figure something out about the flag. Get that thick ass Northern Europe hair like me. Hell yeah. Is that Welsh hair? My friend that traveled abroad said he would ask. That was an icebreaker. It said he would ask that. Icebreaker. So I use it all the time now. Wait, count backwards. What would he ask? The moon landing. That's a good icebreaker. Do you think the moon landing was real? Listening to old roundtables, do you still look at the fucked up things you used to do on the internet you brought it back? Do I still look at the fucked up things you used to do on the internet that you brought it back then? Not really. I haven't looked at roundtable in a long time. I mean, I probably said some fucked up stories about myself. But you know what? I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. Brighter side, the moon is made of green cheese. Yes, it is. I listened to the brighter side when you went on vacation. We are quarantined. I have a vacation scheduled in February, so I'm nervous about going. Caitlin, it's good. You'll be fine. Wear a mask on the plane. Everybody does. The air is constantly pumped and fresh. You're not going to get COVID from an airplane. I guess, like, if someone's, like, bleeding from the eyes, avoid them. I went to Arizona, which is Northern Arizona is great. Southern Arizona sucks fucking donkey dick. But Northern Arizona is very spread out. So I'm just, like, on top of a mountain, just singing hi-ho. And no one's there. I had a great time. I saw a goat and a crow, both symbols of the devil. Which is the one object that you believe brings good luck? Good luck. I would say whatever you put your intuition into something. I definitely have a stone someone gave me after I had a good set. And this woman was like, I want to give you this stone because I want you to bring you good luck. And I was like, okay. And to this day, I have it, I look at it and I smile. And to me, that's good luck. It's whatever intention you put into something. I'm big into setting intentions. So, like, you leave your house and you have an intention. Maybe it's adventure, maybe it's finding money, maybe it's peace, and just walk into the world. Maybe give yourself an hour. You'll find it. You'll find it. I mean, maybe you'll find like a penny if your intention is money, but you found it. If you're looking for it, you'll find whatever you're looking for. You just gotta know what you're looking for. March, table idea. Amber's gonna get set stones. Bring the audacious energy to the people. I like it. I'll bring those stones to people. I remember for years, speaking about intention, for years I was like living in New York and just kind of getting drunk and then not knowing what I'm doing. And I would always say, and I was like doing comedy, but not like, I will get a Netflix special and then I will blah, blah, blah. Like I didn't have my stones set. I was just kind of like having fun. And I was like, I feel like I am digging through a purse, not knowing what I'm looking for. Have you ever like felt that? Or like people who don't have purses, maybe you're digging through some luggage and you're like, I'm digging for something. I don't know what it is though. And you're like touching a million things, razors, hand lotions, underwear. Like, but what am I looking for? You touching all of it. But as soon as you're like, I am looking for a safety pin, then you find a safety pin. But that's where I was at with my career for years. So what am I looking for? I don't know. I'm just having fun. And then I ended up in a room with black mold on the walls. People who have nice apartments in New York, I don't know how they do it. I mean, but also I never paid more than like $650, $700. Never paid more for that in New York. I mean, I couldn't afford it, but how do people you see them on the internet and they're like, I'm just coming home to my place. And it's like beautiful white candles, a foyer, like a mirror you can like hold up and then step back to look at yourself. So you have that much space. I had like 3 square feet of rats crawling all over me. That was my New York experience. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was a lot of fun. But I'm glad I wasn't locked inside my place in COVID there because when I was in New York, I was doing anything but staying in my apartment. I want to go out. I want to go to mics. I want to go to shows. I want to go to bars. I want to talk to people. I just want to walk around, even just walk around. And then if you're locked down, stay inside. You stay in with the black mold and the roaches. One time I was going to make some cauliflower, some like roasted cauliflower or something, and I turn on the gas and a roach crawls up through the flame, says hello, and then chills out and then comes back down. So obviously the oven just needs to be thrown away. The whole place, throw it all away. But I had to throw the food away, and I was like, this is why I'll never make enough money to get out of this place. Because I think I was paying like $425 in that apartment, and I was like, my goal here is to save money so I get out. But I was just so miserable, and I never could make my own food to save the money that I would just be perpetually stuck in that cycle. How horrible. New Orleans, one time a roach came out of the shower head. Caitlin, a roach came out of the shower head, honey. That's so, it just like squeezed through, like, bloop, hi. It's almost like New York City's fucking cursed. Yes, it is. New York City, a little bit. I mean, I went back about a year ago just to do all the things I could never do when I was there because it was just so busy all the time. And, I walked around, I saw a show, I went to Cat's Deli. I could never do those things there. That's the thing about living in New York. You can't do the things the tourists want to go and do. You never see the Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty over there? Yeah. You never go see the Empire State Building. You're just like, I gotta go to work. You just gotta go to work. How big is your fucking shower head? Hanging upside down on the underside of my loofah in the shower, waiting to surprise me when No. Oh no. It was hanging upside down. So it was just like, hello. Man. Did you wash out the loofah or did you throw out the loofah? I can't imagine using that loofah. Maybe you did though. Times is tough. I don't know. I don't judge. At a certain point in my life, I would have used that loofah. Just put that roach right in my pussy. I threw it out. Good, Jen. Good, Jen. I'm glad you threw it out. I might have to. Sorry, guys. This chair has a bunch of bullshit. Good, Jen. I'm proud of you that you threw it out. There's definitely a certain point in my life I would have like just scrubbed soap in the loofah and been like, it'll be okay. Something horrible about the loofah, Amber. Spill it. Oh, just why you don't put in your pussy, my pussy. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's the better idea just to use your hands. That's a way better idea. What are we doing? 38? These are getting easier. I remember the first couple of these I did. I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Oh, no. You regret asking me, Bojazz. Our apartment's nicer in LA on average? Yes and no, depending on the place you want to live. Some neighborhoods are a little bit nicer. Some are older. Some of the buildings you'll definitely get from built in like the late 20s or the 1930s. And so it definitely has some character to it, but it's going to feel cold. And I definitely, because I like to go and call and like just kind of go in and look at places just to see. And some places you can tell are just not upkept. There's one place I had to share. I would have to pay like $1,200 to share a bathroom with a hallway of people. There's definitely a lot more con artists in LA. This place is really good for con artists. New York City is good for people with a lot of work ethic, and if you work hard enough, you'll get there, But LA is a lot of like, oh, you got a shady idea and an Instagram handle with a few thousand followers? You can do it. But I remember I did a show and it was in a compound, and people were sleeping 4 to 8 people per room. And I asked on stage, I was like, where do you masturbate? Like, what do you mean you sleep to this many people? And I think they were paying $1,000 a month each. And they're like, it's an artist commune. We all help each other. Steve's good at sound and Mary's good at lights. And I was like, but where do you masturbate? Like, you need your time. And they said the bathroom. They said that they all block off certain times at the bathroom to go in there. And I'm like, but what if What if you have to get diarrhea and you have to go to the bathroom and then masturbating in the bathroom? It's just all. So there's a lot of like sketchy things like that when you get here. They're like, hey, we got lots of creative types. We're all just kind of working together and jiving and bonding. You give me $1,000. You share a bedroom with 8 people and share a bathroom where there's just diarrhea and cum in it, and you too can make it. That's isn't it like con artist central? Um, that's a good. But Joe asked, that's a good LA's con artist, NYC's grifting. Yeah, New York definitely, like, if you're good on, like, the stock exchange. I was never in, like, the stock exchange kind of vibe. I've met some of those dudes. Not very nice. I used to cocktail waitress, and we had a private party, and they were all, like, for bankers. They all, like, bought the place out. Very expensive. It was, like, downtown New York City cocktail lounge. And they bought it out, all these bankers. And we were told not to wear our regular uniform, but like a black cocktail dress. So we said, okay. And we were told to like line up against the wall, okay. And so they come in and they all look and they're like, nice, nice. And then, some tables getting set up. And we were told to like wait there until instructed. And then a guy comes up to me, tall, blonde, good looking guy. And he's speaking to me like a sort of normal human being. And then, and then the manager comes up and he says, okay, Amber, now we need you on table 4. I said, okay, thank you. And then he goes, oh, you look disgusted. And he goes, I'm sorry, I never hit on the help. Which is right, I am the help. But, those kind of guys, they see women as 2 different things. Like the breeding horse, these are the women that birth their children, and then they give Birkin bags to if the kids do a good job, if, in school and are being raised well. And whores, and that's about it. Do you have any impressions of what is FIDINYC? What's that? Count backwards. Dogs or cats? Let's go dogs. I like them both. Diarrhea and cum. Someone's fetish. I split a campsite with some random person on Joshua Tree, and his goal was to make money off of his dog. He had an Instagram account handle lockdown. Oh no! How did he make money? Did he make money off of his dog? Did he pimp his dog out? Did he show his dog's asshole on Instagram? Sometimes you will look at Instagrams of like a dog that has more followers than you, but I mean, of course, the dog is not making the posts. It's a human being who's making the posts. If a dog were making the posts, it would be very problematic. I don't think dogs should speak because people are like, I just wish I could talk to my dog. And I'm like, no, it's going to say something nasty. It's going to be like, your ass smells like Cheetos. Just barking at everybody. That's my theory when, like, you see dogs barking at each other. It's like, imagine a world run by dogs and, like, human beings are in leashes. You see another human being, like, hey, oh my God, what did I feed you? Well, when do you go to bed at night? That's just, they're like, oh my God. They're like, they don't know how to act. He wanted the dog to be an influencer. That's cool. Did the dog have a costume on? Was it like dressed up like Fido or like Superman or something? Because that'd be pretty cool. Here's a question for you guys. So a couple times doing this, I actually have not felt like drinking, but I was like, fuck it, I'll make like a white wine spritz or something really light because I promised I'd do this thing. But what if I did this weekly thing, but then if I don't feel like drinking, made a virgin drink and still chatted? Does that have the same je ne sais quoi? Does this even have a je ne sais quoi? Unless your dog is telling you to do things. I mean, if your dog could speak, it'd tell you to do things. It'd be like, give me some food, bitch. Dogs would for sure call me a cunt bitch. If it could speak, if a dog could speak, it is not going to be nice. I think it would still be good. All the Joshua trees looked like people I was trying. Oh. Watch, I don't care if you're drunk or not. Okay, thanks, count backwards. It does. Mocktails welcome. Well, I can teach you guys like how to make a fun mocktail. Or like hot cocoa. Hot cocoa's nice. But if I have hot cocoa, the conversation's going to be like, I think this boy likes me. I don't know. At least it's something. lighting up 2 cigarettes in this whole hour. I go about an hour. We got like 15. I'll finish this. We're doing great. Do whatever you feel, Amber. Thanks, Rami. Yeah, it doesn't need the booze. Yeah, I also don't want to be an alcoholic. Like, I'm very, like, I try to, like, check in with myself. And if I'm drinking or smoking too much, I cut that out for a few nights, Or if I'm thinking very negative, no. What I like to do when I wake up in the morning, I plan out my day. I say, Amber, you're going to be kind to yourself today. You can be kind to yourself. And I say this to me because I'm very negative and hard on myself. Like, if you were to ask me to pour a glass of water, I wouldn't think, oh, what a great glass of water I poured. I would think, like, I could have done better next time. That's not perfect cut of glass of water. It needs to be more. It needs to be a little bit less. I didn't hold the pitcher right. Just stressing about all these things instead of just enjoying pouring the glass of water. You poured a glass of water. Does that make sense? Just like calm down a little bit. Be kinder to myself. What kind of smokes? I haven't had one since Corona. I see you smoke American Spirit Yellow. Smoked for 10 years. Kind of red wine. Red wine is Cabernet. And yeah, I was just talking about how red wine's a little too much for me as well. That's why I'm making a Diane Keaton, because a Diane Keaton is red wine with ice in it. My computer's a Chromebook, so the pixels on here, I look like I'm from like 1982. Hello. How did you quit, Snake with Arms? So you smoked for 10 years, and you haven't smoked since the pandemic hit, which is almost a year. It's almost been a year now. Isn't that fun? What a great year. It just flew by. Does the ice really help? Yeah, it helps. It lightens it up. I think a big reason why red wine is too much is because it's hot. Or chilled red wine is really good. Put some red wine in your fridge. That's really nice. It kind of lightens it up. My girlfriend made me quit. Yeah, that's usually what happens. I mean, I would like to date, but I told myself I don't smoke on dates, when I go. I would like a relationship, but I told myself I don't want to be in a relationship with a smoker, and I don't want to lie to somebody and say that I'm not a smoker. You know what I mean? So how do I have to like quit this shit, and then as soon as I do, I'll find my soulmate. I don't know. Because I don't consider myself a smoker. I mean, even though I've had 2 this whole show, but I don't, like, if I'm on an airplane, I'm not scratching to smoke. When I go visit my mom for a week, I won't smoke. And I think I smoke, I just like it. I like it with a drink. I like it after I've accomplished something. Like, I shot my video today, and I was like, cool, gonna have a smoke. Maybe I just accomplished nothing. Maybe that's how I get it. I showed up a little bit, popped in a bottle of Menage a Trois. Woo, it's all right. Hey, Caesar. I'm glad you popped that open. It's okay. I lied and said I didn't smoke, but we were moved. Oh. So you lied and you said you didn't smoke. Did you have to wash all your clothes before you moved in? Because you can smell it. I definitely, I've wanted to smoke on dates. I have smoked on some dates when I was like, this is going south real quick. I just pulled out a cigarette and had one. I didn't ask, like, is this okay? And I saw the, like, illusion leave his eyes of us being together, but it was already not going to happen. And again, I won't talk shit about people. He wasn't a shitty person, just incompatible, right? Sometimes it's okay to just be incompatible. And that was like my ex and I. We were just incompatible. He's a fine guy. He's going to make a woman very happy someday. I don't want to talk shit on people, right? We're just incompatible. We're 2 different people. And what would have happened is we would have had a kid and then got a divorce, and I'd have been a single mom. Chain smoking cigarettes with my son, becoming an incel. That would have happened. I would have been raising an incel. I gotta go play video games while mommy goes and drinks wine and talks to friends. That would be exactly what would happen. I smoked when I went out with friends. Oh, and so Snakes with Arms, when you smoke and you went out with friends and you came home, did you smell like it? And what was your excuse? What was your excuse with a girlfriend? My husband said he could smell it in my hair when I smoked, and that's how he would catch me. Damn. Yeah, it always catches in here. And it like stays in the follicles too. So sometimes I won't smoke for a couple days and you smell it because it like comes out of you like curry or something. Like it's in my skin and then just didn't live together at the time. Oh, so you've been how long? I wouldn't blame on smoking bars. Smoking in bars. I remember that. So Snakes with Arms, how long were you with your girl before you moved in together? So essentially you would be like, no, I'm not a smoker. I'm not a smoker. How long did that last? Like a year? 6 months? It's okay. No judgments. I mean, that's probably what I should do. Be like, no, I'm not a smoker. And then sign a lease and be like, I'm a smoker, bitch. Mm. Smoke does come out of your sweat. Mm. I was looking at a place the other day. It looked really quaint, but it would have to be. It was like 1,600. No way could I do that. No way. But if I rented it with somebody, so much cheaper. About 1.5 to 2 years. Hung about with a bunch of smokers. Is that the hardest thing about quitting smoking? For me, like one of the easiest things about not smoking as much is my friends out here don't really smoke. So I'm very conscious of when I light up a cigarette because when I was around a lot more smokers in New York City, it's just go, go. Oh, I'm smoking with Jim. I'm smoking with Sally. I'm smoking with Herbert now or whatever. And here you just, oh, I'm fine. And then before you know it, it's been like 4 hours at the party and you're like, all right, I haven't smoked. And it's nice. My wife tried to hide her smoking from me, but I didn't care. She did. I found out driving past her one day. She didn't smoke anymore. Oh, Johnny, I'm sorry. She's probably ashamed to admit that she smoked. Because definitely when you smoke and you want to quit, every time you light it up, you're like, I'm horrible. I shouldn't be doing this. So she probably like really cares for you and then didn't want to lie. And man, I'm sorry. I remember with my ex again. Oh, God. Here's the thing. There was a lamp. It's the last thing I have this a connection with him, and we had it together. And I was looking at it the other day, and I was always like, "Why throw away a perfectly good lamp? Why do that? Why it still works?" And I was looking at it the other day, and I was like, "I'm getting a new lamp." So that's like it's my final thing because he had my prom dress. I got that back, and then the lamp is the last thing I guess that like has any remote connection to him. It's gonna be a big deal when I put that in the living room. I was smoking 4 weeks ago and still have cravings. Do they ever go away? I don't know. I mean, maybe when you drink. When I was not smoking in Mississippi and I was drinking, because what else is there to do? That's like a sport in Mississippi. Is how like who can get the drunkest and still stand up, And if you can walk, oh, you're the mayor, mayor of Mississippi. Look, this high school educated boy can stand up and walk drunk. They make you the mayor. They don't go away, honestly, just because more manageable. Damn, I don't like that. Where's the lamp from? I don't know. I think we had two sides of the bed, and one day he was like, "Oh, I got you a lamp," and I was like, "Oh my God, thank you. It was very nice," and I kept it, because it was a nice thing he did. But yeah, I'm getting a new lamp. It's a really nice one. I'll show you guys next time. I might bring it out here next time. That's a good idea. I'll hang it right here. My new lamp. If there's an outlet, that's the thing about being outside. I mean, I like drinking outside. It's far superior to drinking inside, but it's harder to find lights. I would love Christmas lights or something fun back here to not look like I'm getting murdered. Bring the lamp outside. Have that thing that comes close to like the sensation of having it sit in your mouth, close to it, breathe before you know it. Whew. Do you ever just do this? Just like with no cigarette in your mouth? But Joe says? Just that feels good. Caesar, that's a good. I think I'm going to do that next week. I'll do it live. I'm doing it live. And I'll show you guys I'll find a way, put some candles up or something. Something nice. I mean, this thing, screen is out. The stream of consciousness ran. Oh, man. I hold pins like a cigarette. That feels good. Are you, Abby Bird, are you waking up at 5 a.m.? Are you in Australia? Is that what this is? It's always fun. Does your people on the other side of the hemisphere, like, does your toilets flush a different way? Does the sun come from above instead of below? Is that a stupid question? You know, we're on a round Earth, so I could be pointing down right now. I could be pointing down right now. I'm pointing up. I'm in Germany. Oh, sprechen Sie Deutsch? Could be enough. I used to do my country's version of dip, like the sweets or lozenges. 5 a.m. New York. Wait. You're in New York and it's 5 a.m.? Wait. It should be 3 hours ahead. It should be 11? Am I dumb? I don't know how time zones work. Do you know that Arizona is the only state in the U.S. that has no time zone difference? At 5 o'clock, it's always sunsetting. At 8 a.m., always sunrising. 7 a.m., always sunrising. There's no time difference. There's no time change. Isn't that crazy? Do I speak German? Schön gut. Oh, Deutsch ist meine Muttersprache. How do I say? Ich verstehe nicht die conjugations, die sie, der, er. I don't remember a lot of words. Wo ist das? Is that who is that? Wo ist das? It's been too many years since I wrote it out. Ah, sehr good. Thank you. Danke. Wo ist where? So I go, wo ist das Kartoffel? That means where is my potato? Wo ist das Kartoffel? Or is it wo ist der Kartoffel? Bitte. Wo du? Where are you? Wo bist du? Wo bist du, Kartoffel? Where are you, potato? That's about all the German you need. Thanks, Abby Bird. Where is my potato? It is very essential to know. Potatoes are my comfort food. If you ever see me eating a potato, like a hash or a baked potato, mashed potatoes, it probably means I'm kind of bummed out in some way and I want to feel a little bit better. It's definitely my like feel better food. Part Irish, been asking for my potatoes all my life. AJ, are you in Ireland now? No, wait, you said you're in no, Abby Bird was in Germany. AJ was in New York. I studied German in Austria, and they call potato Intrapfel, earth apple. Amber just said, slowly point in the right direction. Oh yeah, New York, AJ, New York. Sweet potato fries, those are good. There's good, and the reason why they're better in restaurants usually is because restaurants you gotta blanch them like overnight. Nobody has time to do that at home. At least I don't. There's certain things I don't really make at home, like kombucha. I'm not making that at home. Do you know you have to have like a SCOBY? SCOBY's like this giant germ or some bullshit, and you got to put it in a glass jar in your closet and keep it dark and covered and warm for a week, and then it splits, and then you can give your SCOBY to another smelly friend and then make some kombucha. I just don't trust anything I have to grow in my closet for a week in the dark. It seems like it might hurt me. I'd rather trust a company, I guess, to do that. Potato, pomme de terre, earth apple. Oh, potatoes were pretty for the soul. We also call potatoes earth apples in Iceland. Isn't that cute? Everybody calls potatoes earth apples. Oh. Well, that's fun. We all know that earth apple is, when's it? Iceland? Somewhere else? Yeah, making kombucha sounds like you would grow a chud. Absolutely, Johnny. Yeah, kombucha I'm not making. Unless I have a big party, I don't think I would make French onion soup. It's just like 10 hours of boiling onions. I mean, I love French onion soup. I'll get that at a restaurant where they've made a big ass batch of it and it's been going for 2 days because they can keep those furnaces up. But as far as like in my house, and then I have a nice little cup of it and like 2 days worth of work, and it just sits in my fridge and I have to eat all this French onion soup. I don't know about that. Potatoes bring us joy in the form of food and vodka. Yeah, maybe potatoes are the best. It's vodka, it's food, it's nourishment, it's earth apple. Think count backwards. All right, everybody. Yeah, it's been like an hour. This is fun. We'll do this next Friday, and I'll hang up some like lights or something. I'll make it look a little bit nice, and then every Friday we'll make it a little bit nicer. And then if I don't feel like having wine, I'll make a mocktail or some cocoa. It's fine. We're all gonna hang out and chat, and we're gonna get through COVID together, guys. We're gonna get through this lockdown together because we're strong. Okay. Bring the lamp. I'll bring the lamp. I'll bring the lamp, Caitlin. I'll get the light bulb and everything. All right, everybody. Guten Tag. Guten Tag. Gute Nacht. Gute Nacht.